Hello, I'm Hogziller. I'm here to talk about my thoughts and reactions to a game that I feel does not have too many videos on the internet. NASCAR Racing 4. This game was developed by Papyrus and published by Sierra. This game was released on February 6th, 2001. I can say personally, when I got this game, it was a significant upgrade from prior NASCAR games. Don't get me wrong, I love playing the first two NASCAR games, but this game had all the tracks, most of the top drivers, and the graphics were a major upgrade. Plus, you could flip the car or get it airborne. I'm making this video ahead of a video series I made running the full championship season at 25% of the race distance at 70% opponent strength. I chose 25%, else the videos would have been 3 hours long each. But I wanted to publish this video ahead of time on some of the thoughts I had of the game. I mostly have had a positive reaction to playing this game, but there were a few areas of opportunity for this game to improve. The first thing I want to talk about is the confusing display of tire wear. The tire remaining bar is longer than prior games, making you think there is more tire left than you actually do have. Plus, when the tires go red, there is not more than usually one turn before they blow. Not sure why they did not just have a bar run to the end like in prior games. Tires going red is usually where the colon symbol is in the cold-hot tire pressure, as shown here. Another issue in the game is what I call the computer same lap tow issue, where if the computer needs a tow and that tow goes past the start finish line, it almost acts like you are a lap down. As you can see, here Jerry Nadeau is ahead of me in first, while I run second on the same lap. There is an accident ahead of me which I avoid and he does not. Then you can see he gets a tow and appears in the pit. So now I should be in first as I pass him, but instead I'm still in second place, further behind him according to the interval. I would consider this a major glitch in the game. Another glitch I like to take advantage of is what I call the lurch start. When running the pace lap, the field will stay with the pace car until usually the second to last corner. Then they will stay on the pace of the pole qualifier after that. So what I do in this video is stay with the pace car until turn 3, then run really slow until I think the pace car is past the green flag line, then nail the accelerator, leaving the field in my dust. This next item is a funny one that used to also happen on prior NASCAR games. As you can see, we are at Watkins Glen, and I'm racing in lapped traffic. We see that Ward Burton goes all Casper the Ghost on the car ahead of it. I get the feeling that the developers spent time developing and testing certain tracks more than others. Not that any one track is so bad that it is broken, but there are a few things I wanted to point out. For the good, I thought they did a good job on the tracks like Daytona, Texas, and Talladega. These tracks raced exactly how I feel, in my opinion, in real life in the year 2000. Another thing I wanted to point out that is small, but I like, is how you can drop gears. As you can see in this video, I'm ready to start the race, and as I go up the gears, I lose third gear for the rest of the race. For some tracks that were not well developed, Bristol, I feel that this track is not mapped correctly. It feels too narrow and the straights are too short. But then again, the times of the laps do match today for real-life Bristol. The real problem with Bristol is how easy the car spins and is unbalanced. At Darlington, there is an issue when a car wants to pit that it slides up the track, back into the banking and traffic as shown here in the video. The next track is Martinsville. As you see in the video here, the cars pile up real easy in the early laps. This will happen about 9 out of every 10 races I have at Martinsville with a full field. One other issue I'd like to point out is the Phoenix pace lap issue. In this video here, you can see that I'm going through the corner for the pace lap and the car to my right cuts down, spinning me out. I tried to get back in formation, but it just was a disaster from there. I decided to restart this race as this is not realistic to what would happen in a real race. Overall, this is a great game to pick up and start playing right away. There is a little work on the setup needed for each car and each track, but it is well worth it. I wish NASCAR could produce more video games like this now. Up to this point, I've talked more about the game itself. But now I want to talk more about my observations of the game as it relates to today. In my opinion, this was a game produced during the last good quality season in NASCAR, as the next year was the start of the single network TV contract, basically sabotaging their exposure of being seen on multiple networks, which I would consider the start of a slow decline in NASCAR. But anyway, I know there's more career mode and rising through the ranks on the NASCAR games that come out today, but NASCAR should really focus on putting out a quality game with quality tracks, quality AI that can be picked up by anyone without having to get an iRacing subscription. While making the racing videos, another thing that stood out was some of the race sponsors from a season that only occurred 20 years ago. The first sponsor I want to touch on is Kmart, which sponsored race number 2 at Rockingham and race number 14 at Michigan. This is what I would consider the height of Kmart's popularity, as they sponsored 2 cars this season also and had multiple track signage. They have been in a slow decline ever since. The next race sponsor I wanted to mention was from race number 5 at Darlington, which was Mollcalm. I could not find much on this company on the web when doing research for this video, so I had to fire up the Wayback Machine just to see the website. It looks like it came online around 1999 or 2000, which looked basically like a link share website set up like a mall. And this layout goes through about 2003. Then it almost appears it became a price compare site around 2004 with BizRate, with the site becoming dormant around 2007. But I can really not confirm that last point. The third sponsor to talk about is the sponsor of the 13th and 27th races at Dover, which was MBNA. I know also they sponsored a car at one time with who I believe was Burton, but this bank was taken over by Bank of America in 2006 for a whopping $35 billion. The fourth defunct sponsor is from race 16 of the season at Sears Point, which is Cragen. This was the Save Mart Kragen 350K, and while Save Mart is still operating, Kragen is not, as they've been converted to O'Reilly Auto Parts back in 2008. Our fifth entry is from race number 18 from New Hampshire. The company in question is thatlook.com, which I could not find too much information on the web, but I did find this article from the PoconoRecord.com. As you can see in the article, the company linked customers to cosmetic doctors, and that company went out of business in 2002. The article link is down below. Our sixth company to talk about is the sponsor from the Watkins Glen race, Global Crossing. According to Wikipedia, this was a large telecommunications company that was big into computer networking and VoIP, which serviced 700 cities in 70 countries. During the dot-com bubble in 1999, they were valued at $47 billion, but there was a problem. They were never profitable, and 2 years after this race filed one of the largest bankruptcies with a $12.4 billion in debt, and according to this article on CNN.com, was accused of covering up an accounting scandal. They were acquired by Level 3 in 2011 for $3 billion. Our penultimate company is from the second Bristol race, which is GoRacing.com, another company whose info has been lost to the winds of time. Using the Wayback Machine once again, looks like there was a site that housed info on all NASCAR series, but then a year later changed to selling die-cast cars. Currently, GoRacing.com houses info on horse racing. The last company that is no longer in business is from Race 32 at Phoenix with Checkered Auto Parts. This company was bought by O'Reilly Auto Parts at the same time as Kragen. There is one other company I wanted to bring up from the game that actually increased its profile since the 2000 sponsorship of the Las Vegas race, and that is carsdirectcom. This company was founded in 1998 at a time where online shopping was just taking off and is still going strong today, at least in my opinion. For this part of the video, here are some defunct, nearly defunct, or in my opinion, sponsors of cars that have significantly lower profiles since 2000. And here are some track sponsors from the game that are no longer with us or are not as strong in my opinion as they once were. So I know the last part does not directly relate to NASCAR Racing 4 itself, but I thought, in my opinion, that it was worth something to point out while playing through the championship season. Hopefully I should be getting the races uploaded for you to watch, And I should be completing a part 2 to this video about custom racetracks and custom modifications to NASCAR Racing 4. If you enjoyed what you saw in part 1, hit that like button. If you had a thought, drop a comment. And if you like what you see on this channel, please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching.